just want to thank you for the invitation to be here. You know, this is a format that allows for true conversation and exchange of ideas, and many of you have been very generous this evening with your thoughts on how we eliminate poverty, not just reduce it, but eliminate it. And it is doable. We just need true leadership to actually get that done. Some of you may know me, but you know, one of the reasons that I ran for trustee of the school board is that I strongly believe that education is key to interrupting the cycles of poverty that we see in our society. And but we do see poverty in our education system. And you know, in some respects, poverty hides extremely well in the city of Waterloo. Not so much in Kitchener, but we do see it in our education system. Children every day come to school hungry or without the appropriate supplies, and we have been trying to respond to that in our school system. You know, but when you have children who are experiencing poverty, you also have families and adults who are experiencing poverty. And this format today actually indicates why poverty has continued to grow. The affordability of life in our society is truly becoming an ongoing issue. We've seen the HST increase, heat and hydro. We've seen rents go up. Actually, the affordable housing issue in this province has not gotten any better under the McGuinty government. When you look at how we spend our money across the country, Ontario spends the least amount on creating affordable housing. People cannot get jobs if they don't have housing. You know, it's one of those stability things. Even the TD Bank of Canada has weighed in on this issue. So we are also seeing, when I was talking with the infrastructure folks, about the importance of transit. You know, if you can't afford transit, you can't get to a job, and transit is a #1 issue. One of the issues that the NDP is going to be addressing, though, is a 50-50 cost sharing around public transit. The province and the municipalities need to work closer together on these issues. We will pay 50% of the operational costs of transit if there's a fare freeze at the local level. That way we keep transit affordable. We are seeing students, I heard from students around post-secondary and the debt load and how crippling that is. Clearly these are issues that require our full attention. But there are strategies in place that we can address. One of them, of course, is creating jobs. That is the one way that we will address our economic instability. We have a job creator tax credit, which will reward small and medium-sized businesses for creating jobs, real jobs, for you, for new graduates. It's very simple. You create a job as a small and medium-sized business, you get a tax credit. We also need to have a good hard look at our corporate tax rates. The government continues to give away millions and millions of dollars that go to profit margins of large corporations. There's no correlation between corporate tax giveaways and creating jobs. That's your money, it's my money. We need to spend that money more appropriately. But you know, we also have to look at a comprehensive plan for poverty, because housing and childcare and senior care all connect to this plan. Income security for people who are living in this province has been at risk for some time, and it has been on the back burner. The NDP has a plan to create jobs, to address the tax unfairness, and we were able to prove that in the last 2012 budget by working in a minority government to strengthen communities. And you know, in a minority setting, your voices are heard. That is why you need to elect a new Democrat to Queen's Park on September 6th. Thank you very much for the question. You know, this area has a shortage of 20,000 citizens in this area do not have access to a doctor. We have an incentive to actually keep doctors in underserviced areas by forgiving their student debt. We need to rethink on early intervention and prevention on healthcare, and also making better use of nurse practitioners and midwives for primary care services. Long-term care must be factored into the equation on healthcare, because we have senior citizens in the emergency rooms of hospitals or in hospital beds when they should be getting long-term care, quality care at long-term care facilities. We need to cap the CEO's salaries in the hospital sector and redirect that money to the frontline services. And we need to reinvest in home care so that seniors and those who need assistance can stay in their homes and receive quality care. Thank you very much. Thanks. Mental health is such an important issue in this community, across the province, across the country. And part of the issue is that there's so much stigma attached to the issue of mental health. You know, we wouldn't let children or adults walk around with broken bones. And yet we try to pretend that mental health we don't have the answers to address mental health issues. Our approach would be two-pronged. You need early intervention and prevention. You need to focus on children. 1 in 5 children in education systems across the country suffer from some kind of mental health issue or have mental well-being issues. So education can clearly be part of the solution, which means that education and healthcare need to work together, which means that government needs to work differently, which means silos need to be broken down, and we need to put children first. The second issue is adults in crisis, which is, as Trudy has pointed out, is a growing issue. We need to increase the capacity of our healthcare system to deal with competently with mental health issues on the front line. Clearly a minute is not enough to address these important issues, but I think that there has to be a stronger way of holding employers accountable for having employees in unsafe conditions, which is contrary to many pieces of legislation in the province of Ontario. Currently, under the Labour Relations Act, collective bargaining is under attack in the province of Ontario. The McGuinty government has created and manufactured a crisis in education to undermine the collective bargaining rights of every employee. They're starting with the teachers, but just look behind you if you think that you're not going to be the next one on the list. So clearly, we need to stand together to ensure that all employees in the province of Ontario have access to safe working conditions and maintain their right to fair and open collective bargaining rights as well. Yes, I will champion the eradication of poverty, and I very much believe that the NDP, actually our platform, combined with a strong economy, will work towards creating jobs, making life more affordable, protecting health care. My values align with the party, which was what I'm running. And yet I do agree with some of the candidates. The work will just begin on September 6th. It doesn't end there. And at the end of tonight's session, I'm convinced that we need to tell the story, the human story about poverty, but also the economic cost of poverty. This is a financial issue that affects the entire province. It is a shame that not all candidates are here tonight.